These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Well, actually, it's a Reckless Speculation Thursday, so forget Minnesota sports. We have reckless speculation flowing through our veins. Judd, Declan, Phil out back tomorrow, and the man, the ringmaster, if I may, who runs the scoop segment. Yeah, no, don't look around. Don't look around. You're looking at him right there. You're looking live at him. Darren Doogie Wolfson, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, and of course, Score North. Does so many good things for us, including Tuesdays and Thursdays. A Reckless Speculation Thursday. Welcome to our favorite day of the week. It's a holiday every day of the year.
Oh, absolutely. Reckless Speculation Thursday, Judd. It doesn't get any better. Thank you for your accommodations. I came in hot. Doogie club baseball practice at White Bear Lake High School. So I sprinted in here from White Bear Lake High School. Need to head out to the State Fair in a little bit to connect with the Gopher football team. Then I will join you in Eagan at TCO Performance Center. Woo. Sounds like some scrimmaging today. Sounds like maybe things will be ramped up a little bit after a little bit of a light day yesterday.
Yeah, they canceled the actual practice yesterday and just did the walkthrough, which was not open to us. And so they're scheduled to go from 1 to 3 today. I did not know it might be scrimmaging, so I am very excited myself to see.
My understanding is a little bit of scrimmaging, maybe more than a little bit. It's going to be an entertaining Thursday in Eagan, put it that way.
I love it. I love it. In fact, let's stay on that thread. Let's start with the Vikings. And off mic, you brought up the name, and by the way, what I'm about to say that you're hearing, I agree with completely. Dallas Turner, who's had a very nice camp, was really good against the Raiders in preseason game 1. But what can you tell us about the expectation for a guy who I think could be sitting on a very big rookie season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the odds are on him winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he is somebody I would put a little bit of money on. And I'm not suggesting that he's been, like, completely forgotten, but, like, so much attention was on J.J. McCarthy that I just think, and maybe it's just, hey, quarterback, obvious spotlight, but I just don't know if we've discussed Dallas as much as maybe we should have. My understanding is, Judd, you talk to enough people in Eagan, like, they are so excited. I don't think we've seen even 50% of what they believe Dallas can do starting September 8th. I don't think we've seen even 50% on the practice fields in Eagan. Like, they feel like there is so much more there. They know it. They don't necessarily want to show us.
Right. No.
But they know it. I'm just saying, starting September 8th, like, just enjoy watching Dallas Turner, because I know how many people in Eagan are so excited by what he can do.
Dukes, to me, it also feels like, obviously, with, Kwesi having some misses in the draft. Lewis Cine, we'll see what happens here. Andrew Booth traded away to the Cowboys. I feel like there's also an enormous amount of pressure on Dallas Turner to perform for the Kwesi's sake. And whether that's fair or not, that's a different discussion. But it also feels like Dallas Turner's performance also lingers a big time on Kwesi, considering how much they gave up to obviously acquire him.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? I mean, you look at their 2025 draft pick, pile right now, and it's lacking, right? And that's in part because of the move they made. Now, hey, Declan, I was pro the Dallas Turner trade. I am still shocked he fell all the way to 17. I think there's people in Eagan still shocked that Atlanta did not take Turner at pick 8.
Yeah.
Then we see them make the trade for Judon, who, by the way, people asked me, the Vikings were not in on Matthew Judon. I think we saw it on Hard Knocks the other day, that the Bears were heavily involved on Judon. Ultimately ends up in Atlanta, but people asked me, hey, were the Vikings in on Judon? No, probably in large part because they have Dallas Turner. They have Jonathan Greenard. They have Andrew Van Ginkel. That's another guy that I'll tell you that, and we know the relationship Van Ginkel has with Flores. We know that he missed all that time, May, June, so he's still coming back from that foot injury. Now, back to 100%. You talk to him, he'll tell you, hey, I'm ready to go. And we've seen him out there. But that's another guy that they feel like he can do a lot. That's another guy. One would be Dallas Turner, but number 2 on that defense, because I think we have an idea on Greenard. But Van Ginkel, I think there's some mystery there, some intrigue. I know the Vikings are just uber excited about what Van Ginkel can do in addition to Turner. That's why, Judd, I'm pretty convinced this defense is going to be better. It was a good defense last year.
I agree.
I think the defense, like if this team is going to win 8 or more games, I think it's going to be led by the defense.
I think you're 1,000% right, in part because Flores has his personnel much more so. Like he inherited personnel, made it work, but it was a starter house. Now he's got his own guys in there. A couple of things off of what you just said too. Okay, first of all, Van Ginkel, who had the Liz Frank at the end of last year, which is a very serious foot injury, and started off camp slow. I would say since the night practice a week ago, Monday, I believe, at TCO in the stadium, Van Ginkel picked off Darnold. It was a bad throw, but it was a nice play. And I would say since then in practice, he has flashed more and more consistently. On Turner, I can tell you this, and I don't want to give away secrets because we all know the Bears, Packers, Lions watch this show. But I will tell you that I am seeing things that to me indicate we are going to see more NASCAR packages from Flores. In other words, I think we're going to see Greenard, Van Ginkel, and Turner on the field. One of them more so in the middle of the line, passing situations, pseudo defensive tackle, and they're going to turn up the speed. So I think what you're saying tracks perfectly with what they think can happen. And I do think that they have the personnel now, including edges, Dukes, that are, if you look at them physically, so much different than what we became used to, because those were 4-3 guys, right? This is really 3-4 now. Quick edges. They look like safety, sort of. They don't look like Daniil for sure. So I think with what you're being told and tracking, I think you nailed it 100%. This is going to be a very different defense personnel-wise, and I think it's going to be a pain in the ass unless guys get hurt.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a pain in the ass for, especially Daniel Jones come September 8th. Now, of the three, among Van Ginkel, Turner, Greenard, do you have a sense? I don't have a great sense of, okay, those three, yes, absolutely on the field together enough, but who then shifts inside? I mean, I wonder if it's Greenard, but I don't have a great sense on that exact answer yet.
I would agree with you, and I don't know, and I will say this, I wouldn't be surprised at some point if it's all three of them.
Yeah, it may be.
I think they want to displace them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is where it gets to be really tough to block guys, because you don't know. But Turner is built like a safety. He does not look like what we're used to there. And, in preseason games for sure, Darren, they're not going to show Jack. I mean, they haven't shown you anything. So I'm just saying, I think the statement that you are making this morning is exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, I don't know who else is in that mix. I mean, is it too much to ask Declan to quickly pull up the odds on Defensive Rookie of the Year?
He was high at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, right? When you go, I mean, he was the second or third defensive player off the board? Murphy went one pick before, but I don't know if an interior defensive lineman is going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, we're thinking about...
He's got a good chance, man.
A pass rusher or, a corner that maybe has, a bunch of interceptions, what have you, fumble recoveries. But I would think Dallas has to be up there, but I would still put my money on Dallas Turner, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Second best odds to win it, according to FanDuel, at plus 440. Latu has the best odds, plus 400. So he's right there. And then
plus 440?
And a big gap, by the way, after Latu and Turner into Jared Verse, plus 1,000. So at least preseason-wise, I mean, that's a huge gap. So those two are the odds-on favorite. We'll obviously see what happens, how the season plays out. Dukes, Judd and I were having a conversation on Tuesday after practice about just Dwight McGlothern and how much he has flashed. And in my opinion, he is a lock for the 53. I think he's tracking to be a lock to the 53. But with the way he's been used at practices and even games, Dukes, I don't even think this is just a fringe corner having a nice success story making the 53. I feel like this guy might be contributing to the defense at some point in the season. He looks damn good.
Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily dismiss that. Yeah, I mean, he has looked damn good. Good enough to the point, Declan, where you don't expose a guy like that to waivers. But there's a fear that somebody would gobble him up. I mean, you go back and watch the film whether it's at LSU or Arkansas, there's enough to like. Heck, his time in Hawaii before training camp, spending time with Derek Stingley Jr., some other cornerbacks at this defensive back school, just learning everything he learned there. I mean, he is a sponge. I remember after a minicamp practice in mid-June, him picking the brain of Byron Murphy Jr. And hey, a credit to Byron Murphy Jr. for spending 30 minutes after a practice going over some route concepts, some stuff with Dwight right there in the practice field, that Byron was willing to do that. But like Dwight, there's a smart player there. There's a tough player there. Yeah, I mean, I think he is going to make the 53-man roster. When we talk about Mr. Mankato, is he Mr. Mankato, or is the obvious answer, is it Jalen Naylor, or is it the kicker, right? Riker, he's been so good, so maybe it's the kicker. But on the defensive side,
yep,
I think at this point, if you want to make a case for Bo Richter,
yep,
I would have told you 2 weeks ago, Gabriel Murphy, who is expected to play football this year, but this injury, and I don't have the specifics, but there was a belief he'd be back by now. And so there's some frustration there on the Gabriel Murphy front, but I'm led to believe he is going to play football this year, that this is not a season-long type injury setback. But at this point, on the defensive side, I think Dwight is your Mr. Mankato.
All right, so we got McLaughlin, we've got the aforementioned Gabe Murphy, Bo Richter. Which one do you think makes the 53? Because
Dwight, yes.
Yeah.
Bo, no. I think you can get Bo through waivers.
Yeah, and I thought
think
Gabe
you get
would,
Bo
but
in the
now-
practice squad.
But now I don't think Gabe will.
Yeah, I don't know on
I don't think you
Gabe.
can keep him.
I don't know if you can keep him either. I mean, he's not on the field.
Right.
And so, I don't know how.
Do you stick him on a list? IR? You've got two guys that can come back.
Yeah.
So like
is he one of the
Hawkinson-
two?
But I don't put him on. But I mean,
TJ's one of them.
Yeah. Do you end his season and stash him?
Make it a redshirt year? Maybe that is the
I'm just
pathway. I mean, they
spitballing.
want Murphy here.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out the exact method to making that happen. Boy, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, they want him here. That I can tell you. They want Murphy here. They invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars in him for a reason. They saw enough, even going back to rookie minicamp in early May, that there's a lot to like there. It would be nice if he was on the field, that this injury didn't linger the way it's been lingering.
Right.
They find a way. I just don't know exactly what it looks like. And I guess we could recklessly speculate, right? It is Reckless Speculation Thursday. But I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I do feel confident that they want Gabriel Murphy here, beyond next Tuesday.
All right. What is the story with Najee Thompson? So take us through that. Special teams ace. I mean, last year he was sort of the Dwight McLaughlin, right? Like this guy makes the team, sort of a surprise at the time. Becomes this, special team stud. I initially going, before he had, I think, surgery, I had him on the 53 again, just based on that. He is waived injured, which means he could come back here. But what is the story there?
All right. This is a text verbatim from somebody directly involved that, hey, could they have been misled? Could they be lying to me? Sure, but this is a person that has not let me down going back years. Verbatim, I will read it.
Okay.
Injury flared up after they cleared him. This was yesterday afternoon. That's the text. Quote, injury flared up after they cleared him. The injury was a knee injury. So something happened after he was led to believe he was cleared. Now, I know there was some social media fodder about maybe Najee, whether it was a DM, something along those lines, saying, no, I wasn't cleared. But I'm just telling you, somebody directly involved said, yeah, he was cleared. Then something happened. There was a flare-up. And so, hey, you have to be able to practice, right? And there was a belief he'd be back. The target was always mid-August. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy they'd like to keep around. Again, I don't know exactly how that looks, what that looks like, Judd, but they want Najee here. But yeah, I mean, he's not healthy.
Dude, as much as I love a good piece of reckless speculation, not sure I agree with the Mike Tannenbaum suggestion of swapping or bringing in Russell Wilson to compete with Sam Darnold.
I like Mike too.
I like
Mike and I text and talk more than people know. Is that how it goes?
I love Get Up. I love what they're doing there. In fact, I'm actually way more intrigued because he mentioned Ryan Tannehill still being out there. I'd much rather sign Ryan Tannehill off the street and just be a backup type dude over bringing in Russell Wilson into this team. I'm actually much more intrigued by Ryan Tannehill than I am with Russell Wilson.
I mean, if they really wanted Russell Wilson, they would have made the move many months ago, not gone the Sam Darnold direction. Judd, I mean, I know some people are still wondering about Tom Brady. Now there's this Russell Wilson suggestion. I mean,
what are we doing?
Complete just, hey, let's bring up a discussion point. There's no actual validity to what Mike said, but I get it. Mike ran the Jets front office. Right. Was in the Dolphins front office, former Priority Sports agent, has his fingerprints all across the league. Yeah. So it means a little bit more if he tosses it out versus somebody like Mike Greenberg. Okay, so I understand why it garnered headlines.
Sure.
But I don't sense there's any real validity. Judd, I don't want to say legitimately are excited, but there's enough intrigue with Sam Darnold, with the infrastructure in place, that there is something there. And we've laid this out. If it doesn't work for Sam this year, you're a career backup. If it doesn't work with an elite play caller, an elite offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell, yes, I believe he is elite. I absolutely do. Josh McCown, don't undersell Josh McCown's presence now. Heck, former teammate of Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Having these tackles, having these receivers. And hey, it would be nice if Jordan Addison was out there. I'm telling you, I think he'll be back practicing on Wednesday, September, whatever that is, 4th, leading into the Giants game. But, hey, he may not be 100% heading into that Giants game. I mean, it's still going to be a little bit. And we know it's going to be a bit on TJ Hawkinson. But I still think there's enough weapons in place with the elite play caller, with Josh McCown, heck, with, I guess, Wes Phillips to some extent. But, I've heard more just excitement about Josh specifically being there. That if it doesn't work now, it's probably not going to work for Sam. This is his last best chance. But there's enough intrigue in Egan that I don't think they're actively looking for a Russell Wilson or a Tom Brady or somebody to come in to trump Sam Darnold.
So here's where I'm confused. Well,
they signed Sam for a reason.
Right.
They really did. And it was the plan all along.
Yeah, exactly right. So why would they abandon the plan now unless they think that he's just unplayably bad, and they'd probably just release him then, which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
The other thing is, if you go back and watch the Tannenbaum clip, it's very Steelers specific. Like the Vikings are an afterthought. He's Arthur Smith is there. He originally rehabilitated Tannehill's career in Tennessee. They should go sign him. And, oh, by the way, just send Russell to the Vikings. And the Vikings could use him. It's almost like Mike's talking from a standpoint of McCarthy was going to start. Darnold was brought in like the backup, but now he has to play. He sucks. And Russell Wilson, who, by the way, is cooked himself. So, it was, to Declan, to what Deck said, great reckless speculation. I mean, Mike Tannenbaum,
it was fantastic reckless speculation.
And you screwed O'Connell
But I'm not buying
time,
what Mike was selling. I'm just not. I'm not.
Because Mike's the same guy as GM of the Jets in 2010 who cut who cut O'Connell on Hard Knocks.
That's right.
And essentially said, you suck. So congratulations again to Mike.
I mean, okay, so if the Steelers, let's just play this out a little bit. If the Steelers are willing to move off of Russell, that tells us that Russell hasn't grasped that offense.
Correct.
Just isn't the right fit.
Correct.
And all of a sudden he's coming in here in mid to late August trying to learn this offense on the fly. I mean, come on. Just logically, It doesn't even make an iota of sense. It really doesn't.
All right, Dukes, time out on the scoopage because Declan wants to tell you about Roku TVs, which are awesome for watching football.
There's a free giveaway right now on the Score North app. You can go to Listener Rewards. We're giving away a Roku TV. So football season coming up. If you want one of those fancy, nice new televisions, I have Roku TVs. This entire studio, we have Roku TVs around. So go get the Score North app. Go to Listener Rewards, download it, and for your chance to win a Roku TV for your living room or wherever you want to put it. Dukes, on the Twins front, Hector Neris still out there?
Well,
Still any interest? What do we got?
yeah, so, heck, by the time this thing posts, we might have news on Hector Neris choosing his new team. I'm led to believe it's going to happen very fast. If it's not today, tomorrow. And I'm led to believe it is going to be a playoff team. Put it this way. If we want to put this under the reckless speculation umbrella on this Thursday, that's fine. Do I believe that there's Twins interest? I do. Do I know if he's ultimately going to choose the Twins? I don't know that. There's multiple teams. At this point, when you can sign him for the minimum, why not? And hey, like, you're not going to use him in the 9th inning, but there's a good enough reliever there, especially when you're thinking about a bullpen 6-7 pitchers deep, that he's better than if you go up and down, pretty much every playoff contender. Like, he can slot in above reliever 6 or reliever 5 or reliever 7, right? That there's a spot for Hector Neris in a major league bullpen for the rest of the year. And so we'll have news relatively soon. I can tell you the Twins have an excellent relationship with his representation. His representation has Carlos Santana, so the Twins did that contract with his representation. Heck, his representation has Jorge Polanco, who the Twins signed, to a nice contract. And, Jorge was here forever. That was a cordial split. It's not like Jorge was bitter about the trade to Seattle. So I can just tell you that I don't have any reason to believe, put it this way, I don't have any reason to believe that the Twins aren't involved on this front.
All right, I got a completely reckless speculation, injury speculation question that the Twins won't like, and I don't care. But it's this. So Jorge Alcala goes out on Sunday and is terrible. He's had a good year. I like him. We immediately hear, hey, got to get back on that horse. Got to get him back out there. The best thing you can do as a reliever is get back out there.
Yeah, so pitch Tuesday. Is that where you're going with this?
I don't think he's pitched since. And what's weird is the situation yesterday would have been absolutely perfect. Blowout game, get him back in to get 3 outs, and okay, now we're ready to go. Do we think something's wrong there? Like was the meltdown more so? Because, they're not going to say, well, I'm going to tell you right now, his arm's hurting. But it just seems very odd that you wouldn't run him back out there like yesterday in a blowout game just to get his confidence back.
Heck, I would have been okay in that high leverage situation on Tuesday. Like, it was the easy first guess not to go with Okert. Now, hey, I would have kept Bailey in there longer, even after the home run, right? Then the trickle down where you didn't need to use Griffin Jacks. When you did, you could have saved Griffin Jacks. But on Alcala, I have not heard that, Judd, but I get why you're bringing it up. That the ideal time was that blowout yesterday. Why not get him in there, have him record a few outs in theory, or even if he gives up a few hits, then you've got more evidence that maybe this thing is sidetracking the wrong direction.
And Okert came back and pitched. Like that was a very deliberate, let's get him into a blowout.
Oh, absolutely it was.
He blew. So, it feels very weird.
Remember they did this earlier in the year with Caleb Thielbar.
Yeah.
That he melted down, then it was, 7 or 8 days, Declan, until his next appearance.
Yeah, they sat him. On Alcala, too, by the way, his velocity was actually up in that appearance against Texas. His velo was even up than his season averages. So it wasn't
I haven't heard anything is physically wrong there.
I find it odd.
Mentally, maybe, right after what took place on Sunday. Sure, I get it, but I've not heard of any physical issues.
All right.
Thank goodness. Buck eligible to come back on Friday, Dukes. Do you imagine he is back at some point this weekend?
I do. Yeah. He'll go through some more testing with the hip. Heck, today at Target Field, Declan. So, better sense, how he wakes up tomorrow and feels. But yeah, this should not be some sort of, another, 7 to 10 days, something like that. It should be very, very soon on the Buck front. And on Correa, I'm telling you, we brought this up on Tuesday. We brought this up multiple times. He's going to have to play through pain.
Yeah.
He'll go through some more testing today. It's not going to be 100% the rest of this year. So he's going to have to fight through. He did last year. And I get it. The results weren't always promising. How many balls did he roll over? 6-4-3 double play. But, he needs to just play through it. It sure would be nice to get him in a Saints game this weekend while the Saints are here in town. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just saying he's going to have to play through pain. And on Brooks Lee, here's what I was told yesterday. Let me cue this up for you. Because, heck, I would take Brooks. Although, how about Julian?
He had a good day. Good week, honestly.
Absolutely.
He had a good week, not even just a good day yesterday.
Brooks from the other day. He's feeling much better. Just started swinging from both sides. Throwing short distance. Timeline TBD. So his return isn't necessarily imminent. I would say Buck, like if we had to rank who's coming back first, second, third, to me, Buck is top of the list.
Yeah.
Then I'd like to think it's Correa next, just because he's going to have to play through the pain. And then maybe Brooks after that. But who knows? Brooks could be 2 on that list, too.
I would love to be a fly on the wall at the Twins when it comes to this Correa thing, because it's got to be.
Oh, I think there's been some interesting back and forth.
I'm guessing it's not all harmonious by this point, right? Because it's like, my God, he got hurt, and they said, okay, we're gonna. Well, first they said, okay, All-Star game's done, he comes back. Then they said no, and I agree to that completely. Let's shut him down for a short period of time, and a short period of time has turned into a month. So I would love. Yeah, I mean,
it was
to know
July
that.
12th.
Yeah,
Definitely July 12th.
Day before my wedding. Yeah.
In San Francisco?
Yep.
Yeah. July 12th. I don't think anybody at the Twins thought we'd be sitting here on August 22nd,
right,
still wondering when he's going to start his rehab assignment, let alone actually rejoin the Twins.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think behind the scenes there's been some very, very interesting dialogue.
Clear out that scoop bag.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Caitlin Clark here on Saturday, Indiana Fever. Fun night at Target Center on Saturday. Maya Moore's jersey retirement. Standing room only. Probably not a surprise, but I checked. Standing room only. Capacity crowd on Saturday. Actually should be a pretty fun stretch for the Lynx with Vegas here tomorrow. I don't know if you caught any of the Lynx game last night, but they put on an offensive showcase. Scored darn near 100 points. Like, their calling card is their defense. Like, they've won a lot of games because of their defense. Last night they won because of their offense. Certainly capable of winning a WNBA championship. So I know it'll be a fun weekend at Target Center, but specifically on Saturday, standing room only.
Beautiful, Dukes. All right, sir. Great scoopage and
you got it. And hey,
speculation.
there remains interest on the Wolves front, on the Rudy Gobert extension front. I don't sense anything is on the cusp of happening, but there's definite mutual interest. I brought this up many weeks ago, but I wanted to follow up on that now that the Olympics are over.
Great stuff, Dukes. Dex?
Okay, boys. I'm off to the fair. Bonding with the Gopher football team.
Go
okay, see ya.
Love Prono Pups. Love Prono Pups. Thanks, Dukes. Appreciate it.
Okay, see you, boys.
Scoop session every Tuesday, Thursday right here on Minnesota Sports. Mackey and Judd. Twin Show. Royce. Purple Daily. We're not stopping.